morning, we'll go ahead and call our meeting to order. It's July 28th, 9 o'clock at Public Works Building. We're here for our regular agenda meeting. Didn't have an invocation followed by a pledge of allegiance. Father Davis. Let's pray.
Go before us, O Lord, in all our doings with your most gracious favor, and further us with your continual help, that in all our works begun, continued, and ended in you, that we may glorify your name and enjoy your mercy and grace. And all this I pray in your most holy name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Father Bates.
Ms. Logan?
Here.
Mr. Cox?
Here.
Mr. Fasagi?
Here.
Ms. Hamilton?
Here.
Mayor Wolf?
Here. Go ahead and get started on the regular agenda. And first thing on the agenda is Duke Energy presentation.
Good morning. It's an honor to be here with you today. I won't take up too much of your time. Just a couple of comments. I'm first and foremost happy to announce an award from our Duke Energy Foundation to the City of Mexico Beach for $25,000 for your water resiliency plans. I think that has to do with your public works. And the second comment I wanted to make, I've been traveling over here for some time now, off and on. I always consider it a pleasure to meet with you and to engage with the community over here. And there's one thing that I've noted each time that I come over here is that the leadership here is very focused on a thriving community. Not a community that's growing out and becoming like Orlando, but a community that that really enjoys itself. It's clean, it's new, and you really get a positive vibe when you drive over here. That's a compliment to you and your leadership and all of the staff, and that's why it's such a pleasure to award you this grant today. And hopefully, as we work together, you're still going to see my face over here. We'll have more things to work on together. So it's really hot outside. I don't want you to have to travel outside just for a picture, but I've got this huge check, and I really hope that I can get my picture with you this morning, if that's okay. Maybe we can line up on the wall or something, and please, the staff needs to get in here too. Can we do that?
We can do that real quick.
Okay.
Oh, we got a small one. I can't Why don't we just move these seats out of the way here? Everybody just kind of file back here.
You need to be in the picture.
Yeah, everybody needs to plan in here.
Garrett, get up there.
Yeah, come on now. Everybody that works for the city get in the picture.
Oh, that's. Everybody say $25,000. Perfect.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you
awesome.
all. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
The real check is coming in the back. Here, this one. You guys have a great day.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It's always nice to get that kind of support. We appreciate Duke Energy. They're always hands-on to Mexico Beach and a phone call away.
Yes.
Ms. Nixon is very, very available to everybody that calls them. We appreciate it. Okay, next thing on our agenda. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Minutes today. The minutes for Friday, July the 10th, we had to do with the first public budget workshop. Everybody good and review them? Are they accepted?
Yes.
Minutes are accepted. Thank you. There's a reason why I have the city administrator and the city clerk on my left and right to help me get through this stuff. And I appreciate it. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is order change policy outline.
Good morning, Emily Thomasy, Anchor CEI. Elizabeth couldn't be here today, so I'm filling in for her. You have in front of you a change order policy outline for the Mexico Beach boat ramp project. That construction contract has started as of yesterday. Harders & Son is going to begin mobilizing, and they have started ordering materials for the project. As you know, it is a grant-funded project, and there is a deadline that the city has to meet to ensure the funding isn't jeopardized. The grant was about $986,000. So we have put together a change order policy outline to address any change order proposals that come through that need an expedited review to make sure that we're not delaying the project schedule. We have got 3 different pathways to cover these change orders. One would be administrative approval. This would be change order proposals that come in that are up to $30,000 and need a expedited review to make sure that Harders can continue working and we don't see any project delays. This would be reviewed and approved by the city administrator, and then Harders could keep working, and then the city administrator could update in the next council meeting what was approved. The next one would be change order proposals that come in that are over $30,000 and require a expedited review. These would go to a emergency council meeting for review and approval by the council. And then of course we have any change order proposals that come in over $30,000 that don't need an expedited review, that we have a little time to review and don't impact the project schedule as much. Those would just go on whatever the next regular council meeting agenda would be. We also included a 10% contingency on the project, which comes out to about $180,000. That would help cover any unforeseen conditions that do arise. We would just keep track of that monthly and deduct the total amount. We could provide updates to the council on that. And like I said, this is just simply because this is a grant-funded project. There is a deadline, and if you get past that deadline and the construction's not done, because we've been reviewing change orders and we don't get them processed quick enough and it delays the project, we don't want to put the grant funding of $986,000 in jeopardy. So if you have any questions, please let me know. We do have $30,000 on there. As the approval amount, we can adjust that as necessary. I believe right now it's $10,000 for city administrator approval, but we can raise or lower that to whatever you think would be best.
Well, we all know our policies that we have in the city. We're not breaking any type of policy by just using this one-time offer here, are we, city attorney?
No.
So we're able to do this for just a project-specific type thing? That would be a yes. He's reading it off.
Yes.
In your experience with other communities our size or projects this size, is $30,000 a reasonable amount?
I think so. I mean, I don't think you want to get too far over 30. I just know there's been some other projects that we've worked with the city on, and we have gotten change orders for between 15 to sometimes 27,000, and it's more than Mel is able to review and approve on his own. But you know, we haven't gotten as many that are over 30. Of course, every project is different, but we wanted to get a set amount in there that's more than the 10,000, because on a project this size, you know, we obviously hope there won't be any change orders, but I can't imagine there's going to be that many that are, you know, under 10,000. If we do see any, hopefully not. But I think 30,000 would be a good starting point. If we get one that's more than that, of course, we will bring it to an emergency council meeting.
And this is all based on the timeline. Could you explain the timeline a little bit?
Well, I mean, it's based on the construction timeline. They have, I believe it's until April of next year for substantial completion. And then the grant is actually through December of 2027, I believe is what Julie and I had just discussed. But we have to have enough time, once construction is done, to do project closeout for the grant. And so we just want to make sure there's enough of a buffer in there where they can complete construction and the city has enough time to submit all the documents and everything for project closeout.
And the timing is tight enough that if we don't do this, we could jeopardize that.
Well, if we get a change order proposal that comes in and let's say it's over 30,000 or it's, just 25,000, right now, all Mel's able to approve is 10,000. And so we have to review it, make sure we agree with the numbers and the pricing, but then we'd have to get it onto a council meeting agenda. If it comes in that, we still are a couple weeks out from that, Carter's could say, we don't have 2 weeks to wait. This is gonna be a 2-week delay to the project. And if that happens enough, it's gonna push the project timeline out through next summer. I know you've got some fishing tournaments scheduled next summer. It would affect those, and overall, we just don't want to affect the funding by getting out past the deadline for the grant.
From my side, I'm all for trying to take whatever steps we can to make sure that we meet the deadline so that we all get paid and it's all on time and everything like that. I have had several conversations with Ms. Moore about the change orders that we have in this city. And I just hope that you guys are on top of that and that it's not just a given that there's gonna be a change order.
Right.
It can't be automatic.
Well, I have an issue with this. We already have a system in place to deal with emergency issues, and it's called a special meeting. And over the years, we have used special meetings in abundance to deal with things that come up. Somehow, it seems like recently, we don't want to call special meetings, but I do not believe that an amount over $10,000 should be left to the administrator, because that's a fiscal responsibility that belongs to the council. And if there is a sudden change order and we're on a tight schedule, it takes 24 hours. That's all it takes to call a special meeting. And I oppose raising this limit for that reason. And then to notify the council after the fact just really disturbs me on that. So I don't see any need to raise the administrator's limit when the council can come together very quickly and deal with it itself. So no, I'm opposed to it.
And we can do that if you choose not to approve it. We can, if we can keep the 10,000, and if something comes up, we would just have to call an emergency council meeting and discuss what it is together if it's over 10,000. So.
Special meetings are a part and parcel of dealing with business. So I don't see any need for it.
Mayor, I would echo what you said about, because it seems like we've experienced a lot of change orders in our recent history, I'll say. Some of them unavoidable, but if everyone does their due diligence up front, hopefully we can avoid more than one or two. And I also tend to agree with Ms. Logan that we're all residents of this town, and if something comes up, we should be able to get a quorum within 24 hours to review. That's just my personal opinion. To make special exemption for one project, I understand the critical nature of the timeline and the grant, but I don't think this council is going to hold up and delay for 2 weeks making a decision on a change order, provided we know we have an issue.
I tend to agree with that, and I think given the authority to the city administrator, personally, Mr. Mel, and knowing his history here with the city, with me is fine, okay? I have no problem with that, but we are putting a big decision on his lap when we don't have to. There's already policy made that it's 10,000. So why put that on one person if you don't have to? I think that I agree that the 24-hour meeting would take care of the problem on this one issue. There's no need to change, so
Yeah, I just think, I mean, I understand what our city engineer is trying to do, and I understand the need to keep critical path moving, especially when there's a grand deadline. I just think the optics are too poor for us to move forward with this. I think the public recognizes that we maintain the authority, the fiscal authority for this kind of thing, and we can, and also if one of us is out of town for 48 hours, it only takes 3 of us, right? So.
Any
At
other-
first, I was leaning towards the engineering opinion, but after the talk at the table, I can see how that would be possible, and not to put so much pressure on Mel, but to make a complete decision of the city council might be the better option.
Right. And what we can do is, we can just let Harder's know ahead of time. Look, if something arises, they have to understand that this is gonna have to go to emergency council meeting. Get us everything we need to support your claim, that we have time to review it and get it in front of the council as quickly as possible. We basically, we just need the full picture. What's the problem? How do we fix it? Give us as much backup as you can, so.
The same thing if we did change it, you were gonna offer to him, you need to do to us.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing's changed there.
Yeah,
You guys-
they would just need to be able to get it to us
You
quickly.
need to
so we
expedite
can-
your procedure as quick as possible.
Yeah, sometimes it takes them time to get like vendor pricing and stuff back, but it would just have to be fast enough to get it on a 24-hour. So we'd have to let them know that ahead of time.
Yeah, I think, to just repeat what the mayor said, if we're willing to review and make a decision with basically a 24-hour notice, I don't see just putting an excess burden, the contractor just can't be willy-nilly about, oh, we've got a problem, it's gonna take us 7 days to get pricing. No, that's not acceptable, you're on the same timeline we are.
Which we have seen before, sometimes it takes them a little time to get vendors, but if we just let them know ahead of time, you know, there's obviously a tight project schedule. If you need to request a change, we need all the documentation as quickly as possible because we have a 24-hour turnaround to get it approved.
We're gonna give you what you want, is somebody to make a decision quick. It's gonna be done within the 24-hour
Yep.
period, 48-hour period.
Mhm.
You need to make sure that everything else is in line on your side to expedite it, not, you're talking to one person, if that's what you wanted to do, that's what you get, you're getting approve one person, making that decision as quick as possible, so.
So we're thinking the emergency council approval is definitely going to be the,
Correct.
Okay.
You can't lag on your side though, whether you're gonna do it with the city administrator individually or the council, it's still, you need to expedite that.
yeah.
And I think Harder's for sure has got to understand that they have a responsibility to monitor critical path at all times. We know you guys recognize that responsibility as the city's engineer. So, I mean, that's the expectation we have in a contract like this, is that everyone's watching the storm. So, I don't think we're asking something that's unreasonable for our vendors to monitor these critical path items and move quickly if there
Right.
needs to be a change order.
Well, and the
Okay.
liquidated damages are pretty high on this project because of the timeline. So, I mean, it's in their best interest to keep track of that critical path. So.
All right, we have one question.
I can't remember right off the top of my head exactly what our purchasing policy states. I do know that there's a limited threshold. I don't know about emergency type situations. So whatever decision we make here, I would like to make this as an appendix item to our purchasing manual. I'm finishing up the JLAC on it, and I sure as heck don't want to see this flare back up and go back in our face if we do something wrong.
Okay, we can discuss that with the city administrator, so.
Yeah.
So we good on this? This is, we don't need to vote on this.
No,
This is
you're just leaving the policy
This is an
as
agreement type thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the next thing on the agenda is the resolution 2601. No.
Thanks, Your Honor. Council may recall at our last city council meeting, Ron Nally from the Florida Rural Water Association gave a presentation to the council and the public about our water as well as our wastewater assets. The plan was very detailed where it listed the condition and the potential cost of replacement and maintenance. And part of the process is to approve a resolution accepting the plan and the fiscal sustainability plan. By doing that, then we qualify for any loans or grants through the DEP SRF program. Without these resolutions, that simply cannot happen. So I think the council was aware last week that the resolution was forthcoming, and they are, the first one would be for the water system asset management plan.
I did see, Mayor, that there was an extra sentence in section 1 that only applied to wastewater, so that second sentence should come out
Underwater?
under the Water Resolution 2601.
Yeah, that middle sentence does say wastewater rate, it doesn't say water.
The third sentence is what's supposed to stay in there. So the second sentence should come out.
Yes.
You have that? Or should you read that? Oh, you don't. Okay, anything else, Mary?
No, sir.
All right, with that said, do we have a motion to read resolution 2601?
I'll make a motion to read resolution 2602.
Oh, one.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to read 2601.
Ms. Logan?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Fasagi?
Yes.
Ms. Hamilton?
Yes.
Mayor Wolf?
Yes.
Resolution 26-01, a resolution of the City of Mexico Beach approving the water system asset management and fiscal sustainability plan, authorizing the mayor and city administrator to take all actions necessary to effectuate the intent of this resolution and providing for conflicts, severability, and an effective date.
Getting over to the public, any public discussion on the water side? Getting close to public, open the discussion at the table. Any discussion at the table?
Let's just make it clear for the public that this is to adopt the plan, not necessarily the rates that were published in that report.
Accepting the plan.
Yes.
Yes. Plan only includes recommendations.
Yes.
Any other comments? We'll be able to get at the rates on the 31st. Okay, close discussion at the table. The motion to adopt.
As correct.
That's what?
As
That's
correct.
correct. I'll make a motion that we approve the resolution as corrected, removing the second sentence in section 1.
I'll second.
A motion and a second, take a roll, please.
Mr. Fasagi?
Yes.
Ms. Hamilton?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Ms. Logan?
Yes.
Mayor Wolf?
Yes. Pretty much the same procedure moving forward with the wastewater assessment.
You know, my dad used to say, this is the same thing, only different. In that this is the wastewater side, not the water side. The resolution pretty much mirrors that of the other, and the intent is the same as noted by Ms. Logan.
Thank you. Motion to read by title only, 2602.
I'll make a motion that we read resolution 2602 by title only.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second.
Ms. Logan?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Ms. Hamilton?
Yes.
Mr. Fasagi?
Yes.
Mayor Wolf?
Yes.
Resolution 26-02, a resolution of the City of Mexico Beach approving the City of Mexico Beach wastewater asset management and fiscal sustainability plan, authorizing the mayor and the city administrator to take all actions necessary to effectuate the intent of the resolution and providing for conflicts, severability, and an effective date.
Open to the public, wastewater side assessment. Go ahead and close the public. Any discussion at the table? Other than the same as Mrs. Logan said in the first one. Have a motion to approve or deny?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2602.
I'll second.
When you're ready, Tammy.
Ms. Hamilton?
Yes?
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Fasagi?
Yes.
Ms. Logan?
Yes.
Mayor Wolf?
Yes. Moving on to the Durham Family Incentive Agreement, Mr. Mel.
Thanks, Your Honor. At one of our previous city council meetings, the subject of an incentive for the Durham family and their construction of the Seaside Market came up. They had requested, or the family had requested some incentives to help with the cost that had definitely increased since they first envisioned the plan coming to fruition. So in doing so, they asked for some incentives. The council gave direction to our staff and city attorney to craft an agreement with the Durham family. One of the issues of that agreement, of course, is what benefit does this agreement have to the city of Mexico Beach? And the Durham family did commit to hiring 30 employees for a 5-year period. And the agreement specifies that 5 of the 30 must be Mexico Beach residents. And of course, that is the hook that would give some credence to the fact that it has benefit to the city in some form or fashion. Also, it was discussed previously that the council would consider a rebate of the city portion of the property taxes for a period of 3 years. Of course, the Durham family made an alternative request for a 5-year period, but the council did previously have their intent at 3 years, and of course, that will be the council's decision. The financial impact, should this go forward, if a 50% rebate would come to fruition for a 5-year period, we're talking a $46,000 amount over the 5-year period, not just each year. For a 3-year period, it would be $22,000 for the 3-year period. For council discussion.
I think
Go ahead and, before we do that, we want to go to the public first. Go ahead and open this up to the public. Any public discussion on the Durham incentive? Okay.
Mayor, Council, Rock Creek, Mexico Beach. Has this been done for anybody before?
Historically, I could tell you if it's been done.
I wanted to hear from our resident
Well,
historian.
I figured that, but to go back a little bit here, I was on P&Z board and we had a big discussion on this whole thing. It had to be done by a certain day, approval, for you guys to approve everything too, because the work order that they had for building had to meet a certain date, so the price would stay the same. Parking was a big issue. I mean, me and Lisa went round and round on parking. It was a big discussion on the board. Now I find out that something's changed during the way. We had to jump through the hoops to get this done right away. And the reason why it was approved by us to start with was the fact that everybody in Mexico Beach wants a supermarket. We know there's no parking, so the compromise was basically, we're just gonna have to live with it. And after the fact here, now I find out that they also own property on the backside. Does anybody have any idea what's happening with that property? That was never put up for.
Additional parking will be provided there.
Additional parking. Are you sure about that? Is there any written agreement on that?
We don't have a written agreement, we have a plan in place.
Okay. But just to do this incentive thing for this one business, I don't agree with that. And just talking to neighbors around in my neighborhood, I don't know anybody who thinks this is a great idea. Hasn't been done for anybody else. I mean, Tucon's is a different Tucon's now. It's been through 3 owners since they started building it. We give them an incentive too for taxes. And the other part is, nobody knows what's going to happen in the November election. You might be scrambling next year to figure out where you're getting some extra money from if they change the tax base. So I would hold off on this whole deal right now and just do it as it was. Thank you.
Tim Linderman, St. Francis Street, Mexico Beach. So, I just want to let you know, I oppose this, the granting of it, but I want to be clear that this community, I think, is very thankful to the Durham family for coming in and doing the market. I mean, and this is strictly, I believe, a business decision. You're calling it an incentive. I don't know how it's an incentive after they've already decided. But I do understand the issues with the cost, increased costs. The city faces the same issues, though, in this budget year and possibly future budget years. It's already been mentioned, we don't know what will happen with the homestead tax rates, what that effect will be. And we've seen the recent briefing of the water and sewer, the costs that we haven't been putting aside. So I will grant you that $22,000 doesn't sound like a lot of money to me. But I believe whatever extra cost that is taken on for the building of the supermarket would be better reflected in the cost of the products they're selling than everybody, the visitors, not just the taxpayers, are sharing that cost. So again, very thankful for the market, but I don't think this is a good idea. And lastly, if we do this, what stops other businesses that are already in place from asking for the same treatment, and why shouldn't they get it? I think the question was asked, have we done this before? I know we did something for Sunstop, but it was just a guarantee of a tax maximum rate for the several years, and it ended up them paying more money than they would have. But that's a lot different than this, and the fact that it's after the fact just doesn't seem correct. Thank you.
Any other comments from the citizen? Can we close public, open discussion at the table?
I think our attorney has done an excellent job of putting this incentive agreement together. I feel like overall, once you read all the details of it, it definitely is in favor of the city. It's expecting a lot of the Durham family in order to make that happen. And I think we've done a good job of putting this agreement together. And $22,000, isn't a whole lot of money of what we're asking of the Durham family to make that happen. So maybe if we read more finely the information in front of us. I've also consulted with other legal people, and they said if they were Mr. Durham, they would not sign this. So I definitely think it's in favor of the city. And I would go with the 3-year agreement, not 5.
Any other comments?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I mean, you go, I'll go, it doesn't matter.
I oppose it. I think anything like this should have been handled at the beginning. I do not believe that it should be handled when the project's halfway or more finished. I think that it is a slap in the face to the rest of Mexico Beach's businesses who have been here through thick and thin and who didn't get any concessions. And I think it opens the door for something that we don't really want to offer down the road, because everybody will then have an opening to say, well, I want these concessions. So I don't think it is a good idea. And I know that the costs have risen, but that's the price of doing business. And I firmly believe that Mr. Duran is a savvy businessman, and he factored in a lot of this. So I'm just opposed to it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I read the agreement, and frankly, I think the agreement is going to cost him way more than the concession. But even saying that, I can't support the agreement because of the precedent it's going to set. Mr. Linderman said it was good as anyone. I'm very thankful that they agreed to invest in our community. I think the city does have responsibility given what we've been through with the hurricane, to try to find ways to incentivize a lot of things, beautification, development. I've been a vocal person supporting doing things on 37th Street. But it doesn't mean financial incentives coming out of the city's coffers necessarily. I think in this case, I don't really see a way I can support it.
Yeah, my take on it, I don't see, first of all, this is not them coming today or tomorrow, or yesterday asking for this. This is coming before, right after the shovel was put in the dirt. That's when it was asked. It was asked on that day, the dedication day. And Mr. Durham asked me personally, took me off the side and asked me about it. And I said, I'd really have to check out to see what's available and what we're capable of doing as a city. Everybody here knows this is how it works, and here we are months later making a decision. So it's not something that was not brought up. It was brought up. And I had discussions with the city administrator about it. I think I mentioned it in one of the prior meetings also. I don't think it's a big ask. I think that there's been a lot going on this year. Materials and tariffs have gone through the roof. Steel has gone through the roof. There's a lot that's going on. We're not offering a lot here. We're offering a hand. I think that's what we're doing. We're saying we don't want you to cut corners anywhere or anything else. We want to help you. If that's what you're asking for and you think that'd help. I don't care if it's $1,000 or $100,000. Personally, his ask is for help from the city. We've come up with a number. And I don't think it's an astronomically at a place number. We went with the 3-year agreement, it's $7,000 a year, 50%. We still get $7,000 coming back a year. So I don't think it's a big ask, and I can guarantee you that going forward, we're going to be knocking on his door, asking for donations for some type of events or something else in our city. So based on this, I support it. Anybody else?
I recognize everything that Mr. Dern has done for this community, for this area, that location, that site. I recognize the benefits to the city, the benefits to him personally, but I'm opposed to tax rebates in general, and I am opposed to setting this as president.
So we're saying that as a council, we don't want vendors coming to us and asking for relief to build. We're not willing to entertain that. Is that what we're saying?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I am opposed to the specific request here, which is a property tax rebate. I'm opposed to this council rebating taxes of any kind. That is our budget. It affects our millage rate. In theory, if it was for this fiscal year, that money's already been obligated and spent. This would probably go in the next year's budget anyways. It's budget season. It's the right time to talk about this. I'm not opposed to that, but I'm opposed to the city rebating anybody's taxes. We're not the taxing authority here. That's the county. Last time this came up, a couple weeks ago, he wanted us to write a letter to Bay County advocating for a property tax relief.
And we didn't.
And we didn't because it's probably, there's nothing we can do. The county's not gonna listen to us. I'm just opposed to the idea of property tax rebates. That's all I'm saying. I'm not anti Seaside Market. I am not anti Georgia Dern. I am not anti any particular business in the past, current, or future that wants to do this. I'm just opposed to property tax rebates. And then, oh by the way, I don't like the president that this is setting.
That's a different conversation that I remember from the last meeting that we had on this subject, and the reason we asked the attorney to put that together, but I understand pressures, so.
But, I think there's a lot in here, in the detail that, if you don't do this, then that's not gonna happen. And I think it's important. I think Tim's done an excellent job of putting this together. And there's a lot in here that, you know, is expected of them, that if you don't do this, this, and this, it's not gonna happen, and that's a possibility. So it's not just an immediate giveaway, you gotta follow all these rules to make that happen. And I think there was a lot of thought and just intelligence on Tim's part to put this together for us, and it's in favor of the city. On a 3-year basis.
I recognize Mr. Sloan's excellent work on this.
All right, with that said, any other comments at the table? Now, do I have a motion to approve or deny?
I'll make a motion to approve the Jordan Family Incentive Agreement.
Do we have a second? That motion's closed. There's no motion. Approve or deny?
I make a motion to deny the request.
There's a motion to deny the request. Is there a second?
I'll second.
A motion and a second. Take a roll, Tim.
Ms. Hamilton?
No.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Ms. Logan?
Yes.
Mr. Visagi?
Yes.
Mayor Wolf?
No. All right. Pressure on that one. All right, we're gonna move on to planning and zoning.
Your Honor, we all know that we have one opening on the 5-member Plan and Zoning Board, and we also have 2 openings on the alternates. We have 2 alternates that, so we've got 3 applications that we received since the last meeting. The first one that we had received was from Lee Johnson. The second one, David Frame and David Bonner. So these are up for consideration by the council for appointment. And you're elect, Your Honor.
All right, so everybody's had these resumes, I'm sure they've reviewed them. We're looking for 3, and there are 3. So I don't think there's a lot of decisions to be made other than, is there one in there that you don't want to do? Or want to do them all?
Or I think we need to select which one we would want to be.
We
on.
normally went through dates. Is that something we want to do, or is that something we want to change?
My 2 cents here is all 3 seem to be very qualified. The date submitted seems to be reasonable to the person that would become the active board member, and the other 2 become active alternates.
Okay, just to go through that, so that'd be Lee Johnson, number 1, and Freddie, number 2, and Dave Bonner, number 3. Is that correct?
Yeah, okay. I see the three.
Yeah, I heard that
Yeah.
computer up there, Eric. All right, so they're accepted?
Yes.
All right, I'll make a motion that we accept the applications for Mr. Lee Johnson, Mr. David Boner, and Mr. David Franny for the planning and zoning board.
I'll second.
Got a motion, and a second, take a roll, please, Tim.
Ms. Logan?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Visagi?
Yes.
Ms. Hamilton?
Yes.
Mayor Wolf?
Yes.
And just to clarify, Mr. Johnson will be the permanent member and the other 2 will be alternate 1 and 2.
Do we need to make a motion on that, or just?
Well, I just clarified it, if Tammy can get that in a minute.
Very good. All right, Moving on to city comments. Any citizens' comments? No. Yeah. Come on.
Are you talking about this discussion right here, or just
Yes, sir.
citizens' comments?
Citizens' comments.
I want to talk about garbage. I know you're going to make a decision here soon whether you're going to keep the garbage or contract it out, whatever. That's coming up, what, a couple months from now, the decision?
Probably next year.
You know, living here, I see what's going on. And the big problem, and you all know it, is the rentals. Well, it ain't just the rentals, it's the people that don't live here full time. A lot of these houses that aren't on Airbnb and Vrbo and all that, they're rented out locally where these people live, to friends, family, or whatever. And they're just not advertised online. You have a lot of that going on. The big problem, I mean, you're taking our sanitation workers, they're going to everybody's house, taking a garbage can, pulling it out, emptying it, bringing it back to somebody's house. There's no reason to do that. They should only do it for the people who have rentals and do not live here full time. And the reason why I'm saying not live here full time, I got neighbors around me. They'll come in and they'll leave the day after garbage and they'll put a can out and it sits there a whole week waiting for the next pickup and the bears get it. Those are the ones that should be paying a little extra to have the sanitation workers come and get the can, drag it out, empty it, and put it back again. And those cans should have some kind of a lock on it. So when they sit out there for 3-4 days, the bears just can't get into them. So no matter which way you decide to go with the trash, to me, that would solve the problem. I mean, we're paying for, I take my garbage out all the time, and I bring it back. I don't expect the sanitation workers to do that. I live here. That ain't a big deal. But it should be a requirement for everybody else, the rentals and the people who don't live here full time. And the cans should be locked, and you should charge them maybe another $5 a month or whatever. Because there's a lot of places that have people coming and going all the time, and they got one can because they're not advertised on either one of their websites. Just something to think about. Anyway, thank you.
I'm just gonna say, Mr. Rock, before you, just so you understand, a lot of that stuff you just talked about was discussed at this table, and I think they're probably to a positive side to what you're talking about. So you might look at past meetings and see what we talked about. I think it will, it probably, it's closer to what you're saying than what you think.
I just wanted to do that because I know you're going to make a decision, and you know, people talk about they don't want to lose our sanitation workers. They do a great job. You know, you get a contract company. It really doesn't matter to me which way you decide to go, but whichever way you go, that should be the consideration that happens, because that's the only way you're going to solve the problem.
Well, you personally may be happy because I think we're in line with kind of where you're going. I think that's what counts.
Thank you.
Any other comments from citizens on up to the podium? If not, we'll go ahead and close that, move to the table, and we will have staff comments.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll have Mike go first. He had something he wanted to bring up.
With this coming fiscal year, we've got two major projects that are going to be underway that are going to require a lot of money up front before we get FEMA reimbursement. It's going to be the jetties and of course the pier. So I would like council's permission to investigate with the bank, with Centennial, about maybe obtaining a line of credit just to kind of protect us to where, as we're spending money, if our bank, I'm just use simple term, if our bank account gets too low, because we do have money in it, but a lot of that is restricted money that we will not be able to spend on the jetties or on the pier. So if we can investigate maybe looking at a line of credit that if we need it, it will be available, and then when we do get reimbursements back from FEMA, we would be able to pay that line of credit off. If we don't need the line of credit, that would be fine too, but coming from a financial perspective, I kind of like to have a safety net, especially since we know that the pier's a $10 million project, jetties are a $4 million project, and we don't have $14 million in the bank available for us to spend right now.
And Mike, obviously, we've had some of this conversation, and then just a quick look at the numbers, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, this is something that's very common, done in business, done in cities, to go out and get some type of backup credit from the bank. This is very common. It's not a thing that we want to build it, it's a thing we just want to be able to pay our bills and make sure everything is still working within the city. Like Mike said, let's say there's 14, 15 million in the bank. We have, just in 3 projects, we have over $16 million. So if 2 of those projects are getting moving here pretty quick, that's about $6 million. The pier, hopefully by the end of the year. So I think it's a good suggestion to go to the bank and ask for a line of credit. How that works is going to be important. How we pay the bill, support it, interest, everything else like that. We need to discuss all that and make sure that we all understand.
I'll reach out to the bank and get all the details.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, but we did this after the hurricane, right? $60 million worth of costs, of cleanup costs, had to do a line of credit. Eventually, months, years later, it was all reimbursed by FEMA, including interest. You had to fill out forms in triplicate. It took forever, but correct me if I'm wrong, this is what we did, right? So I'm only advocating for, I think it's a good idea. We follow the exact model we did after Hurricane Michael because it seemed to.
And Mike, the likelihood that the line of credit would be something on the scale of $10 million is pretty low.
Yeah, I would assume, when I approached the bank, I would ask them probably for half the value of the pier and half the value of the gym.
With the idea that we probably wouldn't use it all if we had to use it.
Correct. And, and like I said, I wasn't here during I don't know the expediency of refunds or replenishment back from FEMA.
It's not fast.
So that's why I kind of wanted to investigate this route here to keep us afloat.
So I think what you're getting from the council is, yes, go ahead and move forward and explore it, bring it back, tell us what it is, and we'll go forward from there.
Yeah, you'll need it, if it's one line of credit, you'll have one resolution. If it's 2, then you'd have separate resolutions. The bank often would want a revenue stream pledged as collateral for that much money. I've done it before with a freeze on an account or a revenue stream from FEMA that one bank accepted. So there are alternatives, but I suspect they're going to want some kind of revenue stream.
Yeah, more than likely a sign off from FEMA that says, yes, this project is funded.
All right, well, with that said, I don't think we just have to have a consensus agreement.
Just one more question. Mel, were they still paying off the line of credit your first go around here with us? I don't know. When you were city administrator the first time, were they still closing out, still paying the post-Hurricane Michael expenses through the line of credit? Or had that been?
It was gone.
It was gone all the time.
We never took that away.
We did.
We somehow managed to keep enough money coming in for FEMA to pay the outgoing bills.
So we didn't do a line of credit.
But then there were so many more projects going. There was talk about it, there was meetings held with banks and so on and so forth, but the mayor at the time was pretty stoked about not spending money that was ours on the line of credit. And somehow or other, we did manage all the different projects that were going to keep people invoices being paid as the money came.
But the money was coming in a lot more frequently from FEMA because there were
There were so many other projects going, and we were paid exactly how it was paid. But I know we did not take out a line of credit that we used.
I.e., we just have the line of credit in line if we need it. We're gonna manage money by our finance director. If we don't have to use it, we're not gonna use it. It's gonna be there as a safety item. We're gonna do some of the same, we're gonna take our maximum 60 days pay, 30 days pay. we're gonna move as much as we can around before we go to the security of the bank.
When it comes to the projects that we have with FEMA, as they're ongoing, they are fairly decent of reimbursing us like within a month or so. But when you start closing out a project, that's when it's months and months and months. So I think that was the key to help us after Hurricane Michael, was the reimbursements came in a timely fashion.
Okay, so with that said, we've given authority to the staff again to move forward and get more information on it and bring back to the council. Mr. Mel, you still have some more?
I got some green blobbies here on my screen to go ahead and talk about it. When it comes to the potential contract with Dr. Spillers and the parking lot east of the Parker Park, there were clauses in there for us to purchase the property, another one for right of first refusal. He wants both of those stricken. He is afraid that due to the language, it forces him to sell. We could dispute whether that's accurate or not, but nonetheless, that's his feelings. And if those aren't taken out, then there's no further conversation to be had. So he did say that if he does get an offer to buy the property, he will contact us first. So whether that happens or not, that's a debate. So question to the council, should I go ahead and proceed of deleting those two clauses and proceed, or is that a deal killer on your side?
Is he willing to give us a right of refusal, or first right of refusal?
He does not want a right of first refusal.
He's just doing it verbally.
Do it verbally.
Which is not enforceable.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
I don't know, that sounds like too much risk to the city.
So he wants a contract that just allows us to park there for a set fee for a month, but we don't have any options if he decides to sell or do something with it. Is that understanding?
Correct.
Right, it does guarantee a first year,
Okay.
then after that, it's a month by month contract.
Oh,
But we have improvements we have to
yes, but
pay
if
for.
if we make all those improvements, then it could just go by the wayside. Okay, gotcha. I had missed the month by month, okay. That's not a big deal for the city.
So the way we move forward would be to go ahead and assess what the actual cost would be, see if we're willing to spend it to get the gain of the extra parking places. Again, I said this before, my fear is we put money into it and we don't use it. It doesn't get used.
Or,
It has to be forced.
or Mayor, we put money into it, improve it, and it makes it more marketable for someone else. And without us being protected in the lease agreement, he can just sell to the highest offer.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I mean, I'd love to have an option and, you know, I'll go back, it's proximity to the crosswalk that's right there is attractive. Gives people the option not to be crossing in 100 different places on 98, but I don't want to spend a nickel if we're not better protected. And I think for us to spend that money to improve it, guaranteeing we for what, $4,700, $4,800 for a year, and then 3 months into next, 15 months down the road, he sells it, and we're just going down the road. I don't like it.
Yeah, I think we look at some other option, but that's what I suggest. Gotta move on from
Is there middle ground between our position and his position that we can offer that protects us a little bit more, but a little bit less than he's willing to give?
Maybe if he decides to sell it, he reimburses the city. Or
Well, yeah, that's one option. The thing that concerned me initially is you only really have a one-year lease. After that, he can cancel it, and whatever you spent, he gets under the current language that he proposed. I'm not sure whether he's really understanding what a right of first refusal is. It would say that you're matching whatever somebody else has proposed for the purchase that he would agree to, and then you can come in with those same terms and purchase it. I don't understand why he's reluctant on that. Now, the option would give you the option to buy it, and I've set out how it would be done based upon the value determined by an MAI appraiser. He may not like that, so if you take the option out, that would at least put you in the position that if somebody does make him an offer that he would accept, that you would come in and be able to buy it
To match
that same, under those same terms. I don't understand why he wouldn't agree to that.
Has that been presented to you?
I don't know, Mel has been in contact with
Yeah,
him.
he's gotten a copy of the whole contract and everything.
But the language didn't say what the attorney said.
No, the language that I did last was the right of first refusal and an option. I can delete the option part and keep the right of first refusal in there if that's what you all want to do. I can suggest a longer term guaranteed portion of the lease, or as you say, reimburse the city if he gets an offer that he won't agree to a right of first refusal on. So there are other things, but I've not had any direct conversation with the man. So
Look, we leased that property for how much a month in the past? $1?
Well, there was a potential
Yeah.
for $10, but that never did come to fruition.
So our proposal this time was to go in there and pay him how much?
$4,700 a year.
A year.
In essence, that covers his property taxes.
So,
Well, just me personally, I'm okay with dropping the option, but I don't want to drop the right of first refusal. I'm intrigued with the reimbursement option if he does so. He just has to pay us back the $4,700.
what is wrong with doing that the first year with no option? If we do it with no option, we get to assess whether we made the right decision, even it's being used. It's being used. I mean, that's my fear, is we open up this parking lot and we can't direct people to use it.
I'd be supportive. I'd be supportive of that idea, Mayor.
To your point, Mayor, and I've spoken to Sam about this. The public doesn't know there's public parking at Parker Park because we've got a little small sign that's facing parallel to the highway. If we agreed to move forward with this parking lot, you have to make the motoring public aware that, hey, this is a beach parking lot. And they can see, okay, there's a parking lot, there's a crosswalk, there's beach access.
Right.
It's right at the end of, was it 23rd, 22nd?
Oh, we can make that agreement and do that this year
Yes,
by the cost of a few signs.
right.
But wouldn't the use of the parking lot, as you have said, you're afraid that people won't use it. How much use would it get when we're off season?
None.
Well,
So-
yes, but we're about to have an amphitheater in Parker Park. And when that starts filling up next summer or this spring, whenever we first start using it, people are gonna start coming. And people are gonna notice, there's no parking here. Oh, look at that little streamer over there that says beach parking right there. I think if we go forward with this, I think that parking lot would get used because of its proximity to the park.
The big picture.
And I think having a longer term vision than a 12-month lease, if we truly do what I think we all want to do with Parker Park and improving it and doing more than just having a market occasionally and having music in the park in September, if we truly use that park and market that park, then I think that parking lot becomes a huge asset to the city.
All right, so we continue to move forward with Parker Park and what we're doing there. We go ahead and maintain the lease for 1 year at $4,700, and then we assess whether we want to put in a clause. We continue to lease if we had to, but a clause that would give us first right of refusal.
Have we determined what it's going to take, how much it's going to cost to prep that lot?
That's what I asked earlier, again. I would imagine we do the same thing as we've done with Parker Park, along with the lines of shells and things like that, but.
There's a couple of palm trees that need to be taken out. Are we certain, sorry if I forget, is there enough room to have 2 cars at the same time, like one going in, one going out?
Yes.
Yes.
But there's quite a bit of maintenance when it comes to trees and bushes and things need to be cut back. Yeah.
Why don't we see if he'll do the 1 year, leave as the first right of refusal out of it. See if he'll do the 1 year, get the numbers together as far as how much it's gonna cost us to get it prepped and ready, including signs or the amount of work, and we make a decision to go from there.
And do we need to worry about the timing of when we start this 1 year agreement? Do we want to wait till January 1st? Do we want to wait till October 1st? I'm just wondering if there's a timing aspect of this, so that we have a full tourist season before we have to come back and decide what happens.
Yeah, the real timing is May, June, July, August, right, exactly.
I think October's a good option because it gives us the off-season in the winter for Public Works to do their thing.
It fits our year too.
And it fits our year, and then if we find out by the end of next summer, boy, that was a flop.
That's a good point. I think we ought to go on October the 1st also.
Did he ever give you, Mel, a price for actual purchase?
He did not.
And I think, and then I'm certainly not a geotechnical engineer, but I know the issues we had with, at Parker Park with the amphitheater. I think construction on that piece of property there that we're talking about for any major condominium or something would be problematic. I would assume it would have the same issues because of its proximity to the water.
Sam, were you here when they were looking at it and there was a problem with the stability of the soil? Is that still going to be an issue even now? Were you here when they did that?
I was not.
Okay.
All right, we got direction?
All right, I got more items here on. I did have a conversation with the representatives of the Florida Department of Transportation concerning traffic calming, speed issues, things we could do to improve pedestrian safety, like adding the number of crosswalks, things of that sort. So I was requested then to craft a letter to the secretary of the district, kind of lining out what the city would like to see, and then they would get their team involved to try to make that come to fruition. Of course, there are no guarantees they won't do everything we want them to do, but at least we need to craft the letter and get that to them and kind of take it from there. Also, we've made the request to the St. Joe Company for, if not the purchase of the property between the Joe Drive and the 25 acres, at least an easement for the purpose, not just for the police and fire station that will hopefully be there, but also for a golf cart path. So that's in flux at this particular time. And the last item I got is we did have our group meeting with our city engineers, our lobbyists, as well as our grant writers, to kind of go over a number of projects we want to see come to the city. Good discussion by all parties. There's certain things one's going to do to help the other, but they want us to rank what those projects are. I think without question, you know, the MX1 relocation, the sewer line from here to the AWT wastewater plant, I think we can all agree that's got to be number one. Probably number two would be park improvements and that sort of thing. And we all want park improvements, we all want certain things in the parks, but in order to get some requests to the state as well as any grants, we've got to have a plan. So something as simple as a pavilion, shall we say. We all want a pavilion, I think, at Parker Park. But we need to determine where it's gonna be, the size, and kind of get it on paper, on a plan, so that the grant writers can actually see where this is going to be and something to sell to the grantors. I'll get that list to you as quick as I can, but I think that's all of my items on my sheet here, Your Honor.
Did you have, excuse me, did you have anything about the sand dune fencing?
Absolutely. And there's grant money available for resiliency, so that's on the list.
And they were pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
That was good. Yeah, with that said, city attorney, anything?
I had worked on a draft of the casino agreement, and Mel had given me comment. You had also given me a comment. Should I make that change, Mayor, to make it half and half on the language, half on the electricity, or should I stick with the 8 and 22?
No, I'd make the change at their request,
Okay.
and then bring it back to you, council, and vote for whoever denies.
Yes, sir.
Anything else? That's it? Okay, department heads, any? All good? Nothing exciting going on in the city?
All projects are being done, amphitheater, and the walkover at Sunset.
Water meters are going in?
Better run smooth. Real smooth.
The rope fence, 22nd, 25th Street, what's the plans for that, or are there no plans for that?
I think Mel and I were talking about that, in front of the dock.
Yes, we're fixing to get it done.
Yes. Maybe next time you're at the table, we'll have it.
I'm not in a hurry, I was just wondering if the city staff agreed that it was a project worth.
Yes, sir.
All right, council comments?
Right before the meeting, I did speak to the gentleman who spoke to us from Duke Energy, and I was asking him about when Toucans opens, we all know they have extremely limited parking in front, and then they have the parking lot across the street. So I was asking him what might be the possibility that Duke Energy would put in another crosswalk that would have, of course, lights to it as well, because I can see that a lot of traffic going back and forth across the highway. He said that would be a priority thing, that they are limited in what they can do on that, but that would be first priority at request. So I mentioned it to Mel, and that would be starting with their new fiscal year. It wouldn't happen before then, but that's an option for us to ask, and as long as we do it promptly, we might have a chance of getting a crossover that would have lights on it for people to come back and forth from Toucans.
That would be very helpful.
Just on the Toucan note, I went down there with the city administrator myself and looked at the parking lots and stuff, and I counted over 80 parking spaces that are currently have. There's quite a bit there going on, so
Is that the parking across the street behind?
parking behind the, what's the name?
Paradise Shores.
Paradise Shores. There's parking over there by the gas station. Then there's parking in front of their place.
So
I
that
counted over 80 spaces.
That would be a lot of foot traffic.
Yeah,
A lot of foot traffic.
yeah, the majority is across the street.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. And they have it, I think some people thought they put them down and they put them at an angle, they have angle parking where you pull in. And I think there might have been some people that looked at it and thought that you try to park between it. That's not, that's what you do. You park up to it. It's that diagonal parking. Yeah.
But the restaurant itself comes closer to the highway now, so they are very limited even with the angle parking.
Well, that whole front space, I believe, is all,
It's all handicap.
Handicap.
It's all handicap.
Oh, okay.
that whole front space is all
Yeah,
handicap.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comment?
I have a question for Mel. I was looking for it in your last two weekly reports. I'm not sure I found it, but there was a comment about we're not sure about the new golf cart bridge was supposed to go in off of that, or am I misremembering things? You made an update about what the improvements that are gonna need to happen to Joe Road, or Joe Drive.
I think that's what he mentioned, that he sent a letter to, St. Joe Company asking for some clarification on how we move forward.
On how we move forward, but not just Joe Drive, I guess, at the Bailey Lane special meeting, we talked about a golf cart path, that I thought we were talking about possibly coming in off of Kim Cove, Natnook, and not necessarily Joe Drive. Am I misremembering that? Or-
We would have to access it through that property that is the St. Joe property. And that's the whole reason.
Right,
we're looking at-
but it would be separate from Joe Drive.
Yes and no.
It would connect Joe Drive on the north,
Yeah.
and then kind of take a turn to the west, and then come in on Nana, because Nana's the only street that accesses that northern property.
Okay, so that's all part of the request for more information.
Right.
There's actually just it's like a corner, kind of like this here, that we're looking for,
That's right.
that kind of separates it.
It would serve two purposes. It would give us access to the 25-acre site, plus give us the ability to put the path in.
Right. Okay.
Any other council comments?
Just two things. First, when are we looking at completing our LDR revisions, and when are they coming to the council? That's a question number one. And number two, there's a lot of open issues that pertain to that, sort of, but some that don't, like we had this whole ordeal that went through P&Z and been through the council multiple times. What we ask our mobile food vendors or our food trailers to do, we gave them permission to put up roof coverings. But there's also language in there that mandates that they have landscaping and they have buffers, either fencing or, and to my knowledge, there are quite a few of these that have not done that. And we have another commercial business that's been in a trailer since the hurricane, and nothing's happened with it. So I guess my statements, my questions all pertain to A, the revision of the LDR, when's that completed, and B, when are we going to start enforcing these things that are already in our land development code?
Mel, do you want me to talk about that, the first question, or do you want to do it?
Go ahead.
Just on that, where are we at with planning and zoning? What date is it gonna be closed there and come to here?
It was supposed to have been done in July,
Correct.
but lack of a quorum
Yeah,
set us back.
and the planner had some computer problems. Lost a part of what she was working on. And so, then for August, I believe they're not gonna have a quorum on the 3rd. So what, have they decided to reschedule that meeting?
I need to get with Laura. I know Laura, she's gonna be out of town
Okay.
till mid-August, I believe, and I believe Mr. Kerrigan was gonna be out mid-August till mid-August, so it's probably gonna be September.
But we're not sure.
And,
It's probably going to be September.
and are we pushing up against the clock? Don't we have a requirement to update the 37? Are we getting,
I mean, this has
That's
been
a
going on
comp
forever.
plan every 7 years.
oh, okay.
The main issue was we didn't have enough on P and Z to even have a quorum.
Right.
So that's been a huge issue, so.
But we're not up against the clock, other than we just want to get this done.
The quicker the better, yes, sir.
Correct.
It's all due to the lack of membership in the P&Z.
Okay, we have the membership now, the planner is the issue. We can't get a date with her, is that?
Well, I don't know.
No, she is out of town until mid-August, I believe.
So it's just scheduled.
And so is our chairman, he's gonna be out of town too.
And there's no backup to her, we talked about that before.
I still say,
That's the reason why we need a planner in the city, huh?
I still say that P&Z has the capability and the intelligence to have meetings without the planner there. They can discuss these things It has been done in the past, and I absolutely do not understand why P&Z is revolving around constantly the planner's schedule. P&Z should be meeting and discussing it, and then the planner can catch up with it. But this has been going on since January of 2025.
Before that,
Well, that's when the council, at the January 14th, 2025 council meeting, the council voted 3-1 and instructed P&Z to meet more than once a month, which means twice a month, and it hasn't been done. So there's a huge issue, and there is no reason that P&Z members cannot come and discuss things regarding the LDR among themselves as they're supposed to do. So I just do not understand this delay.
All right, well, there's a lot of documentation that has to be gathered, and it seems like there's one person that's been gathered in that, and that's been the planner. So the planner has been working with the city attorney based off of what the P&Z is requesting. Are you suggesting that we don't have a planner? Well, that's a whole another subject.
Well, so I'm gonna.
No, that's not what I suggested. I said the council, the P&Z board does not have to have the planner at every single meeting. They are quite capable of discussing the issues by themselves, and then she can catch up with it. That's what I'm saying, not that we don't have a planner.
So I agree with Ms. Logan. My recollection of the last P&Z meeting, and it was 2-3 months ago, is they were making progress. They had, it was a 2-hour meeting. They had plenty of red lines that the planner had presented to the P&Z, and it, you know, everybody went through. But I think with a little bit of direction from the city administrator and a little bit of extra heavy lifting from the city attorney when the planner's not available, there's still things to discuss. My recollection is that Alara, before the meeting, she goes through and she makes all of her red lines. And what I remember from the last 3 or 4 P&Z meetings is that she would come in with her red lines, and I don't know, I'll make up a number. Half of them were rejected by the P&Z because they weren't consistent with what the P&Z wanted. They weren't consistent with the character and the uniqueness of Mexico Beach. The planner was adding in some red lines based on her own extensive experience with other coastal communities in the Florida Panhandle that are still not like us. And we, correct me if I'm wrong, we rejected half of her red lines. And we accepted half, and then we go on. So I would say if the planner's not available, there's still work to be done. Everybody just pick up the P&Z review from the last time, or in this case, if we're missing some drafts, we pick it up from the last draft that was presented at the P&Z meeting, and the council go through. And the council review before the meeting the next 2 chapters and say, what do we want? What do we? Let's make our own red lines, discuss it at that meeting for 2 hours, and then when the planner comes back from vacation, we say, here, these are our changes, rather than her making the changes, presenting to us, and we reject that.
Well, that's a change that could be suggested, but that's not how we've been running.
I agree.
Okay, so why where we're at today is because of the way we've been running.
So yes, I agree, Mayor.
I've been an advocate of the lack of being able to get a planner in front of a P&Z. It's ridiculous.
I
If
agree.
the person's not gonna be there, they need to, we ought to be working with companies that have somebody who can stand behind them and show up when we need them and when we pay them.
Well, and my comrade over there, Mr. Fasagi, made a statement earlier about fiscal responsibility. As a government, we owe our citizens, how should I say this tactfully? We owe our citizens and taxpayers, whether they're homesteaded or not, efficient government in everything we do. at this table, in every department. And in this case, this seems to me to be bureaucracy at its best. I mean, I was on P&Z, and you can go back and see how long ago that's been when this was first mandated. And it finally got, to Ms. Logan's point, January of '25. Well, let me see, that's over a year and a half ago now. And we're still not really close to completion, hopefully September. But in my view, I remember the discussion, we could complete this in less than a year, meet twice a month. To me, it's just, we haven't done our job.
Mayor, can I say something? I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna have to speak up here. Mel and the attorney and I attend the P&Z meetings, and Laura has only missed, it will be the August meeting that she's gonna be out of town, so, and I said a while ago, it was because we had a lack of a quorum, we haven't been able to meet, so, and Mr. Sloan and Mel can back me up on this, they are pretty much done with the LDC. It's the final revision that she's got to bring back. So they have been working on it. It is, you know, they're just not dilly-dallying, just waiting on Laura. So she has done a fantastic job, as well as Mr. Sloan. I have to speak up for her because she has done an amazing job. So we are not working around her schedule. So she even said that we could, we can, schedule it another time, but we couldn't because we would not have had a quorum.
So what's the point, what's the path forward? Can we request the P&Z meet in August? While she's out?
Why don't we talk to our attorney, the city administrator, and let them get together with Laura, see what she can do. If she can't make it, then they can come up with a plan to have it P&Z meet and go forward. But we're lacking the information that's probably only in her computer, not in ours. Is that possible?
Yes, sir, I can work with Mel.
And frankly, the way I remember the last draft of the last meeting, what was it, May was the last meeting? It was June, fine, but I mean, if she's lost everything after that draft from the June meeting, we're still in pretty good shape. I remember it being close to being finished, and so there's just a couple more chapters to push over the finish line. I think this team can do it.
Okay, we'll leave it with the attorney and the city administrator to get it updated and know that if there's a possibility that we can do it before she's available, we'll do that. Is that good?
It's good.
Anybody else?
I thought of one more thing.
Steve, you look a little stunned. You got something?
Well, just the second half of that really doesn't pertain to the revisions, because most of the components about the second part of my question pertaining to commercial properties. What are we going to do to enforce the things that aren't going to be changed, like businesses operating out of trailers without, outside of what we're doing? This whole thing, there was supposed to be an ordinance in the works, and I know, Mr. Sloan, it's not your fault, because it goes back to the LDR. Containers, shipping containers on vacant lots. All that was going to be tied into this LDR revision. That's why we haven't gotten an ordinance specific to.
Actually, I had worked on a separate ordinance, and I had a discussion with Mel about containers. And I have it probably 90% complete, so y'all can have that at the next meeting after Mel reviews it. And that can be done independent of what she's doing.
And that dovetails back to something Mr. Priest brought up months and months and months ago, multiple times, about projects, we'll call them, construction projects. I can name a couple. And I've spoken to our building department about it, that Some of them have not had an inspection in 3 years, and, you know, we know people that play the game, and according to Florida statutes, you gotta be showing progress, and you have 180 days, and you need to have an inspection. But when someone now has gone 3, 4 years and had no inspection, and their property is a shambles, and I'm getting phone calls from the residents on the street saying, when are you gonna make him mow his grass? You know, he's hooking his camper up and dumping in the sewer, even though he's not supposed to have water and sewer here. He had construction water for 3 years. And across the street, he's got a vacant lot with a shipping container. What are we gonna do about these things? As a city, we need to address that when we have full-time residents calling council members talking about it. That's all I'm saying.
I think to your general point, we've got, the existing published LDC today addresses that.
Exactly.
And there, a couple, same with landscape, that's not being done by a couple businesses. So can't we enforce this today? We don't even
The LDC that is in place today is fully enforceable. So the changes, I will tell you that the planner has moved a lot of stuff around. I mean, Mel and Tammy know that. And she's moved chapters, and so it's difficult for me to keep track of and to be able to review what she's doing, because she's moving stuff from chapter 7 to chapter 2, and that's been difficult. So, but the current LDC is in place. So if it is a requirement in the current LDC for construction, then it's enforceable.
Thank you.
Look, that's in there, I listened to this conversation with you willing to be, I mean, we set this up. We called that planner in. We've had the planning group wait for the planner to give them information. I agree with you that there's probably a group that's very, very capable of making decisions, there's no doubt in my mind. But we brought that person in. We leaned on her. We were wrong, I guess. Maybe we should have kept going the way we were going. I don't think this is a bad thing. We're trying to put some blame on the planner. Planner's just doing what we hired him to do, or her to do, in this case. We're leaning on her, we're waiting on her. There's probably history that we haven't done that in the past. I'm okay with that. But you can't change the system like that, guys. You just can't do it. And we asked that planner to gather information for us. We asked her to come back. We asked her to do all the writing. It wasn't the P&Z was doing it. They were giving the information, but it wasn't all put together. It was put together by one person. And we've allowed that. So if we want to change that, let's talk about changing that in the future. But right now, that's the way it's set, and the planner is not available. So do we wait till September?
At this point, I don't know what choice we have.
Correct. We set ourselves up. Well, you got any input? Okay.
Not at all.
Okay, to move on?
I have one more question. Have we received, so I know the lobbyists are sort of a new contract. We have not received any benefits of their contract yet. I know there's meetings and they're working on stuff, but we haven't received any city awards or grant awards based on our lobbyist contract, correct? Not yet?
Timing is not correct to do anything in the next few months.
That's fair. We got the legislative session. I just, all right. And then the other thing is let me lead this statement by saying I think our grant writers are doing a great job, but I think at least I don't have a lot of visibility into how much success they've had over the past, since their contract started. So do they have a list of grant wins and grant awards? That sort of an active running list that we could present monthly to the council, so that when folks ask us, why are we paying all this money for grant writers? What are they doing for us? We have an answer. He says, well, they gave us this grant.
We don't pay grant writers anything.
Well, they get paid when they get a grant, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so what are their wins, right? If they're they're on contract for the city. And I would think they're keeping a list of, here's all the wins that we have from Mexico Beach. Can we see that?
Again, the timing is not right for most of what they do. But they did write the grant for the $25,000 check that you just received. That's a win.
Is that their only win, that since we put them on contract?
At this point, the answer is yes.
That's the only win, not the only thing they're working on. There's a list. Have you not seen the list of?
No, I guess I haven't seen most.
I'm gonna tell the council something, and I see this, but the council needs to come in and spend some time with the city administrator, city clerk, the assistant city clerk, and know what's going on. If we're not doing that, we're probably not keeping up on what's happening in our city. If you wanna know, ask a question. You don't need to tell people what to do, you just need to come in and ask questions and be on top of them. So, there is a list, yes, it's been around for months. So, ask those questions, get those answers, and I think you will be better served. Anything else there? Get ready. City administrator, is that it?
Absolutely nothing.
Department head, done, council, and any other comments? We have a budget meeting coming up on Friday. This is our third budget meeting. And there's some big things on the agendas, guys, so I'm talking to citizens now. I think if you want to be heard, now's the time to be heard. Come to the meeting, give your input, and we'll go from there. But these budget meetings are going to come to a stop pretty quick. We're on our third one. Making some pretty big decisions for the city. Got a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Listen, do we need to stand behind us on this?
Yeah.